What is up, everyone? Welcome to another October daily video where I'm doing 31 days of Halloween drawing. Today I'm going to be drawing a mad scientist. Now, I don't want any of you guys out there throwing sodium chloride at people. That's assault. A little dad joke there for you. You're welcome. Alright, let's get started with our mad, crazy scientist. This one should be quite a bit of fun. I'm going to start off by doing the eyes, bring up my brush size a little bit over here, and then I'm going to use my finger to make this eyeball. You can hold it there for a second and it'll make a perfect ellipse for you. And do it again, hold it until there we go. Alright, so now I'm going to make a second layer here. And whoop, gotta bring that back down now. And let's start making the nose. I'll show you in a minute why. I'll show you right now. So since I made these on a separate layer, I can actually go in now and erase where I don't want the lines. So now I can just go and get rid of all this overlapping stuff here. Nose. And get rid of all this here where this meets up. It's a nice little tip when you're doing anything digital, really. But what I do every time I'm using Procreate here, and I will make separate layers for something like that. And now I can combine those. Let's make the rest of the head shape here. Alright, let's actually make a new layer for that. And the hair is going to be on this layer as well. Make the hair as crazy as I want to, and then I can do the same trick and just erase where anything overlaps that I don't want it overlapping, or yeah, where I don't want the line to actually be. So let's finish up this hair. He's got some crazy hair because he is a mad scientist, and truly a mad scientist needs to have crazy hair, in my opinion. Get some of these little stray guys here. One back here. And a couple back here. And let's get the hair that goes towards the back of the neck there. Alright, go back to this layer real quick. I'm going to a little bit of the ear there, mouth, any of these parts that are really overlapping, I'm just going to do right now. And like all the other drawings, I did the sketch beforehand to try to save a little bit of time. Let's get this eyebrow in here. Okay, so now I can go in and erase any and all of the overlapping lines. So today I am using the 2nd gen iPad Pro with the 1st gen Apple Pencil while using Procreate. This is my go-to app to do any and all of my digital drawings for clients, for myself, whatever it may be. Okay, is that all the areas I need to erase? Let's finish up this brow line there. I think I'm gonna get a little bit of hair there. Freezing up on me just a little bit. That is a downside sometimes of using this older iPad. Is I do get freezes on Procreate quite a bit. Nothing I can't handle or manage, but it does get annoying sometimes. So that's just something to keep in mind if you plan on getting one of these older iPads. It could just be my iPad Pro. I don't know if all of these second gen iPad Pros are like that with Procreate, but that's just an issue I run into quite often. So, and all the pens that I'm using right now are all pens I have made myself. They are available on Gumroad, so if you want to check those out, they're $2. But if you want to support me on Patreon, you get them as well for the $1 membership. So get a little discount there. So just something to keep in mind if you want to get these brushes. But if you join the Patreon, you get more stuff like the sketches I made for these videos this month. All the paper ones, at least. And a lot of them, at least over half of them I did on paper. Some of them I just did on my iPad. All the paper ones, though, you will get as part of the $1 membership. The $5 one, you get all the high-res versions of all these drawings as well. So if you want to go check that out, and it sounds cool to you, it sounds cool to me if you go over there. But if you don't, just maybe at least subscribe over here, and I would greatly appreciate that. But if you don't, and you're just here just to watch this one video, I welcome you today. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video. Any and all support is always welcome. Okay, go in there and erase this now. You'll see that I do that quite often when I'm doing my drawings. I will make the multiple layers and just work in that flow. A lot of times I don't even think about it. I'll just make another layer and do my little erasing trick there. So if I don't explain that I'm doing that, at least I've already told you now what I do, so keep an eye out for that if I do make multiple layers for things. If you can, more often than not, if you can, try to do full motions with your lines instead of making little tiny marks all the time that are really close. Using your wrist to get a good line is always best, but you know, it's just something to keep in mind to try and do. It'll help give you smoother looking lines altogether. But if you're using Procreate and the current brush that I'm using right now has Streamline on, so that'll help even more give you a smoother look to your lines. Now it is time for colors, so let's make a new layer underneath. We're going to tap on the Linework. We're going to make sure that's on reference, so when we drop in the colors, it does not bleed out. So go with a gray for the jacket, maybe a little lighter. There we go, it's like a lab coat. That will do. Continue with refill. Select where you want it to start, and then you can just tap it in. And let's go to our hair. Let's give it like a, let's see what this looks like. Let's give him like blue hair. That'll be kind of cool. Wait, isn't that the color of Rick's hair? Okay, maybe not Rick's hair. Then it just looks like I'm copying Mad Scientist from another show. Okay, bring that saturation down just a little bit. Purple. That looks pretty cool. Now he's like Trunks from DBZ if he was a mad scientist. And I am okay with that. Okay, go with kind of a pale skin color, a little more pale. And I never like doing just solid white for the teeth, so I'll add just a little bit of a yellow tint. It's a little too yellow. A little yellow tint to the teeth. And purple for the eyebrows, make it a little bit darker. Oh, I missed another spot of skin up there. This hair makes it so hard to see all the areas until you get up close. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom there because then it wouldn't look as much like glass, because glass will not fill all the way down. So let's actually grab the selection tool. Make sure you're on free select down the bottom here. Do that. Drop that in right there. There we go. And we can do... Actually, I'll do that on a separate thing later. Okay. So we got all the color in. Now it is time for some shadows. Alright, new layer. We're going to click on that. Do clipping mask. And I forgot to do the whites of this eye, actually. Or just at least that section. Okay, so go to black. Go up to our layer there. And I'm going to be a little more precise with my shadows on this one than I have with some of the other drawings. And then we're going to do what I did before with the quick select. We're just going to follow this line for the shadows. The nice thing is with the reference turned on, when I get back up towards the head there, I don't need to follow any lines anymore. I can just get this section here. And I can just swoop back around, tap that closed. And whoops. Filled it a little too strong. Okay, so to give myself a sense of what the shadow is going to look like, drop that down. There we go. And I can just fill this whole section there. Do the same thing here. And then I could just erase where I don't want that. Actually, let's turn on the streamline brush for this erase. There we go. You know, it's a lot harder than I actually thought it would be to kind of talk about what I'm doing and drawing at the same time. As this month has gone by, I have gotten quite a bit better at it. I would say, at least, I'm not stuttering as much as I was at first. But still getting used to it. But I actually kind of want to start doing this a little bit more in the future as well. I think it's kind of fun to do this. So if you like this stuff, let me know. Like I said, I'm having fun doing it, but all of you guys might not be having as much fun. So I'm actually gonna make a new layer for, oops, not reference. Reference, turn back on there, clipping mask. And we're gonna go do fill brush. All this extra here. Now I did this on a separate one just because I wanted this top half to be in more shadow. Oops, I'm still on. In a little bit broader shadow than the body was in. And this will help me achieve that a little bit more. And flick between standard and streamline there. Give yourself a little more control when you're doing this. Then you can go back to standard to erase larger chunks quite a bit faster, because the streamline on, it makes it so it's trying to smooth out everything all the time. So when you turn on that streamline, you it's a little harder to do the erasing, so because it tries to make these smooth lines all the time. Alright, so now we're going to do the thing with the selection tool up here. And now we're going to do it with the hair. Alright, so now what we can do is take our eraser, make sure we're on smooth liner here, and we're going to add a little bit of a rim light to the back side of the hair here. Help give it a little bit of dimension, makes it not look so flat. I remember the day when I finally figured out what rim lighting was in a drawing and how much more alive my drawings felt when I started implementing it. Pretty sure, I want to say I learned about rim lighting cartoon drawings from watching an older video of Jazza's back when he was doing a lot more of the tutorial stuff. So I remember him talking about making sure you add a rim light, and that changed everything for my digital drawings. So we're gonna do a rim light back here as well. Oh yeah, forgot. Put all of this. Oops. No, don't do that. Okay. So to combine the layers, you just kind of pinch those two. Let's add a slight rim light back here. Alright, so time for some highlights. And we're going to do the same thing, clipping mask. And let's go with, so my highlights are actually going to be coming from the little jar thing he's holding here, so okay, now that I think we got all the highlights that we need. Let's actually make this a little stronger right here. This whole thing is making it glow. Okay, so let us bring this opacity down a bit. Do another layer here. I'm actually going to fill this in. Is my reference off? Must be. Yep. Reference the line layer again. Fill this in. Now what we can do is add a glow behind it. Let's just do the wide filler brush, and we are going to just, well, actually let's just go from the top here and the bottom here. Now we're going to go to Gaussian blur, and then turn that opacity down. Let's Let's actually change the hue of this. See what it looks like. Hue. Give it a slightly greener look. That looks good. And now the last thing we need to do is above all the layers, make one more layer. Now, turn the background back on. Let's grab a airbrush. Make sure we're on black. One more layer here. All right, so there it is, the finished Mad Scientist. I think this is pretty cool, kind of funny at the same time. But remember, this is only one of 31 videos this month. So if you haven't seen the other ones, make sure to check them out. They're going to be in the card up above. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any other videos this month where I'm posting these 31 videos. But remember, like always, keep drawing, and until next time, bye.